Just a moment, we'll get. All right, we'll get started in just a moment. I'm having a computer issue here. Okay. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Ratanataya. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our evening program here. So, we have come to the end of the Vassa here at Dhammadharini, the 3 months of the so-called rainy season retreat. Started on the full moon of July and ended last week on the full moon of October. And I know some of you who are regulars here may have missed us last weekend. Sorry, not last weekend, last Tuesday. We were having our end of Vassa event, our observance, when all of our Bhikkhunis come together and we offer each other invitation. This is what the Vinaya, the Buddhist monastic code, requires us to do, is that we come together, having stayed together for 3 months, and we invite each other to let know if there's anything that needs to be cleared up between us in terms of anything related to our precepts before we go our separate directions after the Vassa. We had that meeting last Tuesday. And now we're still in our sort of post-Vassa phase, but not very far out of the Vassa, and thought that this would be a good opportunity this evening to come together with all of you and reflect on these past 3 months. I know some of you have been with us all along. At least one, I think, was here at Dhammadharini Monastery for our entering Vassa back in July. In person, and at that time might have made an adhitthana with us. Adhitthana means resolution. It's setting an intention for our practice. So our monastics, we set an intention for the 3 months of the Vassa that we will not leave our place of Vassa dwelling. We will not go out during that time. There are certain approved reasons why you can go out for up to 6 days, but you have to be back by the 7th dawn. And so, other than that, you should stay where you have entered your Vassa dwelling, and you should stay with the people that you have entered your Vassa dwelling with. That's our required adhitthana. And we've now completed that. We've completed our 3 months together in this place with these people. But it's also possible to set an adhitthana, resolution, for this time that is additional to that. And we invited everybody at the start of Vassa that they could write on a Bodhi leaf. We printed out little Bodhi leaves at our event for entering the Vassa, and people could write down what was their resolution for those 3 months. Not only our monastics, but anyone who was there, who wanted to commit to something, who wanted to sort of join together with us. And we kept those Bodhi leaves. We've had them up hanging in our meditation hall at our forest hermitage for the past 3 months, both our own and those that people filled in at that time, at that event. And now we've come to the close of Vassa. It seems like a good time to reflect. Come back to that. So this evening, I'm going to guide you in a meditation that will be a reflection on the past, well, for us, for the past 3 months. If you've been with us joining this program for the past 3 months, then also welcoming you to reflect on your own Vassa experience. If you're newer, then just whatever period of time leading up to this that makes sense. Any period of time that you've committed to your practice, even if it's, maybe you're just coming here for the first time. Maybe 10 minutes ago, you made a commitment, a resolution, adhitthana, you would come to this program and show up for it. And even just for 10 minutes, maybe that's just to reflect on that. Whatever period of time it is that you've been making some sort of commitment to practice, I invite you to reflect on that. So I'm going to lead this guided meditation for about 45 minutes. And then at the end, I'm going to invite my co-host, Venerable Vandana Bhikkhuni, next to me. She's going to lead our other bhikkhunis and, well, one seminary in the corner you can't quite see. We'll move the camera to her at the appropriate time. But Venerable Vandana and I will lead some discussion among our bhikkhunis about what our personal Vassa experience has been like, and then also inviting you if there's any reflections or anything to share at that time. So let's begin. Okay. So coming into your meditation posture, finding a way to sit that is stable and upright, whether you're on a chair or on the cushion. If you're on the chair, then with your feet on the ground, ideally. Anyway, a balanced posture. Something that you can maintain reasonably comfortably for about 45 minutes. It's okay if you need to shift at any point, but do so mindfully. And try to find a way that you can just settle into this body, into this moment now. Do a brief check-in with the body as part of arriving here at this moment. How is the body? Just scan over it, starting at the top of the head, noticing any sensations there may be at the top of the head and the scalp. And coming down to the forehead, the brow, the eyes. Inviting any tension in the eyes to relax. Feeling any sensation in the nose, the cheeks, the lips, the chin and jaw, inviting any tension in the jaw to relax. May or may not, but you just give the invitation. Feeling any sensations in the throat, the neck, the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, lower arms, hands resting comfortably in your lap or on your legs. Feeling the chest, the belly, the whole torso expanding and contracting with the breath. Feeling the hips and the seat. You make contact with the chair or the cushion. Feeling the pressure, gravity, groundedness. Feeling the thighs, the knees, lower legs, and the feet. Again, making contact with the ground. Letting your intention fill this whole body. Seated here and now, grounded in the body. Bringing attention to the breath going in and out. And then from this place of groundedness in the body, in the moment, I invite you to reflect. What was my intention for this past period of practice? Whether that was the Vassa, whether that was just coming to this program this evening, whether it's years-long commitment, some period where you can reflect that you made an intention during that time to practice. What was that intention? See if you can bring it back into your mind and heart. What was it that inspired you to that intention? And whatever thoughts or feelings may arise, noticing them, feeling them in the body, letting them be just as they are. And as you reconnect with what your intention was, then inviting you to reflect. How has it been during this past time? Have I lived up to that intention? Has it borne fruit? And whatever answer may be coming to mind, whatever feelings, thoughts, I invite you to meet them with kindness. Establishing a friendly attitude of curiosity, interest in whatever may come. Wishing well to the thoughts and feelings. Wishing well to the situations and the stories and the people. Wishing well to yourself with friendliness and interest as you reflect on this. Like if you were telling this story to a good friend who you hadn't seen in 3 months, if you chose 3 months of the Vassa, how would that good friend listen and respond? How can you be that good friend for yourself? It may be that that good friend is listening, and what you have to tell them is something difficult. Maybe you didn't live up to your intention. Maybe something got in the way. Maybe you didn't succeed. It wasn't what you thought. It wasn't what you wanted. So imagine that good friend meeting that with compassion, with understanding, with care. Offering that compassionate friendship to yourself. Or anything that might have been a failure, anything that might have been painful. And I invite you to reflect if there's anything that did go well. Maybe you met your intention, you fulfilled it. Maybe you surpassed it. Maybe there were joys, either unexpected or unexpected joys along the path. I invite you to bring those to mind. Anything at all that was good, positive, anything you can feel grateful for. Imagine telling that to your friend. And the friend responding with appreciation, with joy. See you joyful. With gratitude to see you grateful. Being happy for you for that thing, no matter how large or how small it may be. Being able to feel the joy of that for you, for yourself. rejoicing. No matter what may come up as you consider your intention and how it's gone, you can meet that also with equanimity. Whether it's joyful, whether it's painful, knowing that it's done. Whatever you did, it's done now. You can't go back. You can't undo it. You can't make another choice. Whatever choices you made will have their result. For happiness or sorrow. But whatever you've done, you don't have to do anything different. You can't. And that's freeing. There's nothing to be done about the past. It's just what it is. And somehow here you are, today, now. Here you are, with the freedom to choose what happens next. No matter what you've done in the past, no matter what happened, you have the freedom to choose right now how to meet this moment. No matter what this moment is. this equanimity of just seeing how things are right now. Knowing the past can't be changed. Knowing the future hasn't come, and there's only so much you can control. Very little, actually. But this is the balance to the compassion, the pain. This is the balance, the joy and appreciation for what's happy. Knowing that either way, it is what it is. All of it we meet with kindness. All of it we meet with equanimity. This is our freedom to choose. That we can meet it with kindness and with equanimity. I'll be quiet for a few minutes. I invite you to continue to reflect on your intention from the past, and also your intention right now. Seeing how you can meet each moment coming forward. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddhang dhammang sanghang namasami. Oh, again, good evening, everybody. Introducing my co-host again, Venerable Vandana Bhikkhuni from India. Happy to have her back with us for a second Vassa. See. I think there's a couple more Bhikkhunis who should be joining us. Thank you. So we're hoping to be able to hear from a few of our members. May I start by inviting Bhikkhuni Vandana? Are you ready to say something? Yes? All right. Inviting her to share about her Vassa experience and whatever Dhamma flows from that. Welcome. Please share with us.
First of all, I would like to pay my homage to Buddha Dhamma Sangha, Arhantatheri, Sangamita, Arhantatheri, Anulatisa, our abbess, Tathaloka Mahatheri, my senior, Ayakachayana, and my junior, Venerable Avera, and all the lay people here. Finally, we are here, end of the Vassa. It feels like just yesterday we started and today it's finished. And this was almost I was sick all the time, so I didn't know what to say. But then someone say, "Oh, you should share your thoughts about your sickness. You know, how you contemplate on that time when you were sick and you were practicing by your own." I was like, "Yeah, that's true." I should say something about that because I think everyone as a human being, we have all the suffering, and sickness is one of them. And we every day when we take 5 precepts or 8 precepts, we know it related to our body, mind, right? And about that, Buddha has said, life circle is birth, aging, sickness, and death. So it doesn't matter if you are young, if you're old, if you're a kid, anyone can get sick. But it depends how you see that sickness and how you contemplate on that. So I like the thing when Buddha said, accept first. When you accept the thing as it is, it gives you clear understanding, and you try to understand what is it and how you can handle that. But until you don't accept it, there's no way for you to figure it out how to go through from that. So I think that the first thing I did, I accepted. I was not like, okay, why is it with me? Because that's what Buddha said. If you have body, you have everything. If there's no body, there's nothing, no suffering at all, right? But because we have this body, so we have to accept whatever comes through this body. And that is what Buddha remind us again and again, like this is true, is part of life, right? Sickness is also a part of the life, and all conditioned things are impermanent. If we see it, yes, it is. But if we don't see it, then every second feels like, okay, why it's not ending, why it's not ending. But when we accept like everything is impermanence, then everything is past. That's what I feel, right? I don't know about other people, like, but yes, that what I feel like. When the body ache, the mind doesn't have to. If the mind does, then everything get messed. So um, when we bring the mindfulness to the experience, we see the sensation, just that sensation. The illness is no longer as a sickness, right? It's just simply a natural process unfolding. And I feel like this is really good practice. Once we, I think we don't have to be sick for that, but at least it's a really good reminding that if we have to see it as it is with mindfulness and accept it. So once you accept it, it it becomes really simple for you. It's not a burden, or it's not really big deal for you. Then you don't have that question why it is with me, because you have the bodies. Of course it will come to you. Everyone have different kind of sickness, everyone have different kind of suffering, so everything is different. So if you see here, my point of view is different, Ayaka China's point of view is different, Samaneri's point of view is different. So everyone have different point of view, everyone have different suffering, so everything is different. But it's only depend how you accept it and how you handle it. That's the really important thing. um, so like Buddha also have said this body doesn't belong to us, but we say like mine, and everything is start with there, like because we say it's mine and we get too attached to it. And then whatever start with this body, we say okay, this is mine. Like if I say okay, I'm staying here, so this monastery is mine, but if we say practically it's not, right? So if something happened here, oh, okay, because I'm attached, okay, my monastery, something is happening, I have to do something. So it's because I'm attached to it. So when you say this body is mine, something changing, and we become so desperate to make it correct. Why there's sickness? My body doesn't deserve the sickness, but again, this body is not yours. So everything arises and it goes. So this is so wonderful when we see how we get attached even to the sickness. Even it's not like good thing, even we don't like it, but still if you see carefully, if you observe yourself, you will not focus on your health is improving, but when you get sick you're too attached to it, like oh okay, I have cold, I have fever, I have this, I have that, and continuously you are like revising it, like repeating and repeating, and somewhere your mind is also having that, okay, you have this, you have that. And when you see that, Buddha have also said that what you think you become. So when we think that okay, I have this, so your mind also say okay, you have that, this, okay, take it. So somewhere we also responsible for whatever is arising in our body, in our mind. Everything is like part of practice, and everything is connected, but it just matter how we see it and how we practice it. We practice it really mindful or carefully. It's like sometimes you don't even need meditation medicine for be cure. Your mind already know how to cure itself. So that's all to share. Like this is really wonderful. Like when I and then everyone start to tell me, okay, you should do this, you should do that, you should meditate, you should reflect on your healing. I mean, your sickness, what you are having, you know. So in my mind, I was already doing it, and people were also suggesting, okay, you do this, do that. But there's a one thing is amazing, like when you truly want to practice, there's always things comes up in front of you and you just walk on that. But sometimes like if you don't have that feeling that okay, I want to go through this, it doesn't matter how hard you try, you will stuck there. So in the practice also, it's really important when you feel like okay, I want to practice sincerely. Of course you will meet the kalyana mitta and you will go through from that path. But it's really important to, from your heart, you have to be sincere to yourself. Okay, I want to practice this and I want to dedicate it to this. Like China mentioned before, we made adhitthana on the Vassa. In my adhitthana was also something like that. I want to practice sincerely, I want to focus on meditation. But because of my sickness, I didn't focus on meditation, but I did practice just with the mind. Body doesn't have to do all the work, but mind was doing it. So I feel like okay, if the mind is there, like um so you don't need anything. Just the body, if it's in the pain, the mind doesn't have to. If the body is sick, it's enough, the mind doesn't have to be sick. So I think that's really important for us to remind that the sickness we should not affect our mind also. That's all. Sadhu.
Sadhu, do you remember the verse that Ayati likes to chant? Atorakaya same sato chitang avisa. No? From the Nakula Pita Sutta, although we are afflicted in body, we will not be afflicted in mind. Anyway, that's a favorite of our founding abbess and very, very suitable. I'm glad you've learned that. Would you like to invite our next? You move this way. Okay, we'll get one more on the camera here. And yeah, that one is there.
So everyone who would like to share your own experience, be ready. Once all the venerables finish, we would like to share your experience also through the Vassa, because like Venerable Kachayana already mentioned, like some of you were here to make a Adithana. So we would really like to hear how was your practice and how much you improved in your practice.
Oh.
Now I would like to invite Ayaka China because they are next. Oh, they're sitting next to me. So Ayaka China, please.
All right, thank you. Yes. So it's this Vassa. Actually been a fairly challenging Vassa for me. I've found myself in a new role where suddenly I'm sort of near the front of the line in seniority, not quite at the front, but we've had such a large group of bhikkhunis this time, large and diverse and wonderful. And it's a little strange that I'm quite young actually in monastic life myself. I'm just finished my 4th year as a bhikkhuni, and yet there's so many in line behind me already, and I'm supposed to be sort of, I don't know, leading them or guiding them or something. Um, and so this has been sort of new for me, that I'm as close to the front of the line as I am, that people are looking to me for a certain kind of leadership and guidance and so forth. And, you know, I guess I've learned a lot from this experience of, people looking to me. And then when I do things and say things, it's not just affecting me, right? It sort of has some extra strength to it. People are looking to me, and I have a certain responsibility that I didn't have before. And then there's just in this kind of role, there's all this opportunity for the ego to come up. Um, sort of, there's the idea of like myself as a leader. Who am I as a leader? What is this role? Me, right? What kind of leader am I? How am I going to do this, right? There's a lot of ego in that. There's also a lot of ego in the idea of like, I don't want to be a leader. Why do I have to do this? I don't want to. This isn't suitable for me. This isn't my personality, my character. I'm not like this. They should put me in some other role. Somebody else should be at the front of the line, right? So there's like these conflicting ideas about me and my role and whether it's good or not, and I like it or not, and also about what all the other people are doing. And to what degree am I like trying to take responsibility for them or abdicating responsibility for them, or, am I doing a good job or not? There's so much dukkha in that am I doing a good job or not? And, as I look back, it's like, certainly there are ways in which I've not been doing a good job. Certainly there are things that I regret from this past Vassa. and also things that I feel like really have been valuable for me to learn. I'll let the others say if it's been valuable for them. I don't claim that I'm doing such a great job, but maybe there's some things we're still all here. Um, I had my part to play in getting us through this Vassa somehow. We all did. I mean, not me especially, but I did my part of that. That we're still here. We're still in our robes. We ate every day. We completed the Vassa, and had some events, had some teachings, had some study, um, had some time in the forest, had some time going to other temples. I did a lot of things, and I had my part in that. And so I think many of those things were valuable. And I'm glad to have had my part in them. But I think really the most valuable thing for me has been sort of looking at my own practice, at my own mind and heart, and just trying to, you know, find humility in it. Like find like really what is it to just be myself as I am in these conditions, not to be trying to be something I'm not, um, or not even trying to stick to what my previous image of myself was. Um, like it's neither of those things. It's not sticking to one image, and it's not trying to force myself into a new one. It's just sort of seeing what actually is arising here, and how can I make a good choice in each moment. How can I use this challenge as my ground of practice? And yeah, I guess there's just a couple things that I think I have learned this Vassa that I think I will carry forward with me. Things where even though there was a challenge, there was also something that was offered to me by Sangha or by my teacher, um, to help. That actually is a tool that I can use to face this in a different way. And one of them is, let's see, there were times during this Vassa where I felt angry, where I felt frustrated, where I felt like I don't know, too much was being asked. Like, that's too much. I can't give that. Um, and and sort of a sense of pushing back for protection, but pushing back is also, it's pushing out, and it's lashing out in a way also. And not wanting to do that, not wanting to do anything that would harm others, but also not wanting to do anything that would harm myself. And how to find sort of the balance, like right in that moment. How do you respond right in that moment in a way that is not harming the others and also not harming the self? Um, and I received the advice that in that moment you can just, if there is the pushing, there's the reaching out like that, then in a way that could be harmful for somebody else. I'm not talking about physically, but you know, uh, if there is some sort of outward movement of anger from the heart, then just to sort of come and wrap that in compassion, like like a parent coming and giving a hug, in a way that's just like, holding the child from doing something that's dangerous, holding the child from doing something that's harmful, but in a loving way, in a way that is clearly just sort of caring for that and being able to offer that for for them, for that child at that time. Um, and just that image of like you restrain not harshly, not in a way that's harmful, but that's really just like wrapping it in love and care, and that allows it to, it creates like a buffer in between, but it's something you can create for yourself. And I found that sort of that image helpful, just like um, bringing that care to that energy, and being able from that space of sort of protection, self-protection through compassion, through seeing clearly and giving that love, that then you can sort of make a wiser response with clarity, with intention. So I found that helpful. Another thing is just when I'm feeling sort of like the grind of like this image of myself or the other image of myself, or my image of myself versus somebody else's image of me, sense of like what I value or don't value, what the other people value or don't value. And anytime that these different images, these different values are like pushing up and grinding against each other in some way, then really getting a sense of like the grinding, and but also how to give yourself a break from that. That sometimes in our practice we get so much into the vipassana, the trying to see with insight, trying to see the dukkha, trying to see the impermanence, trying to see it as not self, bringing wisdom, right? This is all good. I'm not in any way knocking any of that. That's a very valuable practice. And I think that's been sort of my normal mode of practice, is really try to like look into it, see the dukkha, see the anicca, see the anatta, right? But sometimes you're trying to look at it, but it's on an intellectual level, or it's not really fully sinking in some way. And it's because you're still so like caught up in it. It's like caught up in it in the emotional way, and then the mind is thinking, oh, this is anicca, but but it's not quite sinking in, right? And not really settling in and dispelling whatever that is, or not being helpful in that way, just to think about it. And like then what I've just during this Vassa time, actually near the end of this Vassa time, been able to start to work with a little bit is just in that case, before trying to look with wisdom at the thing, just giving a little break. You step back, samatha, not vipassana, but samatha, finding that possibility of samatha in the moment, of just like calming this, letting this calm, letting the grinding stop, this like taking those two things apart and feeling the quiet that is there. If you just let that activity calm itself down temporarily, even just for a few seconds of taking a breath. And it's hard to do. It's counterintuitive, actually, because we feel like, oh, this thing is there and it's painful and it needs attention and work and I need to poke at it and I can't leave it alone. Leaving it alone won't help. That's just ignoring, right? But it's actually not true. It's like if you just leave it alone for a minute, it can settle. It can start to heal a little bit. It's like you scratching at a wound or something. Scratching at an itch. It can make it worse. Whereas if you just like step back, give it a little space, then it has time and space, and can sort of see what it is to be free of it, just for a minute, just for a moment, finding the ability to step back from it. And it gives a different perspective. It gives clarity. You come back to it again. So those two things, I guess, are things I will take away with me from this Vassa, of just finding the way to think of calm. Sometimes it's hard, like you look inside and you're like, okay, I want calm, but I don't see any here. And it's just like, oh, the mind's like, oh, this is not calm, right? It's like, well, what if I bring up memory of calm? What if I bring up the image of calm? What if I bring that into my heart and mind and see if it can just manifest here? See if I can give up on whatever is not that, let whatever is not that fall away, and can kind of come up naturally in that regard. So that's what I've been working with some success, and I feel good about that. It's not exactly what my Vassa Adhitthana was, but it's good, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to have learned about that during this Vassa, and it's something I will carry with me. And I think that's that's what I have to say. So share that with you.
Thank you so much, Jayaka China, to share this wonderful experience of yours. I feel like most of people who in daily life, they feel sometimes like this is a lot and I can't handle it, right? But when we have that pressure, we never think like before I mentioned, we want to solve everything. We don't want it to give a time like, okay, let it be. We don't accept it. We say why. And for Ekachina, I will say this is your first time to being a leader, right? And I think for everyone, this is a natural thing. When you're doing something first time, of course you make mistakes, and from that mistakes we learn. But I feel like you've done a wonderful job. Really, we really appreciate and we're really grateful. uh, Especially I have seen you how you are working for the Sangha, for the selflessness with full of your heart and compassion. And I see you are putting yourself behind and you're putting the Sangha first as your priority. And I think for that, to do that, it really need compassionate heart and that dedication. And I really admire that quality that you have. And we always request Ekachana, please take rest. But Ekachana is like, no, I have to do it. I have to do this. It's like, no, you have to take rest first. You have to take care of yourself. But still they're saying like, okay, I'm not doing enough. So this is the compassion, and this is the loving kindness towards the Sangha, that they feel like they want to do more and more, more and more. But there's not never enough. It doesn't matter how much you do, it's never enough, I feel. But whatever you did, it's of course from my point of view, I feel like, oh, from our other monastics point of view also, you're always inspiration for us. So thank you so much.
All right. Thank you very much for saying those kind things, and also pointing out the areas I still have to work on, about taking some rest. And yes, I was not fishing for compliments, but thank you very much for your kind words. And I do appreciate that. May we invite someone else to speak? Venerable Awayada, would you like to share with us about your Vassa experience? This is your first Vassa as a Bhikkhuni. You ordained just right at the beginning and then flew here. And so this has been your whole experience as a Bhikkhuni so far.
Yes.
Please tell us about it.
It was amazing. It was full of adventures. It was full of lessons. It was full of amazing memories. That's how it feels like. Remembering or connecting back when the day we all were making adhitanas before entering the Vasa. And it was just that, oh, may I grow more in Dhamma and Vinaya. With the guidance of all the Venerable Bhikkhunis, I felt like, yes, I did. I felt that. It was more like on every step, asking questions, Venerable, is this appropriate or this needs to be done in other ways? How to understand this rule? Should I do it this way or should I not do it? All those things like help me get the better understanding about what needs to be done, what not needs to be done, and how the things to be comprehended, which feels like otherwise would have been very difficult for me. Also, it, because my heart came with so much surrender and love and like completely giving in that, yes, Venerables, please kindly teach me. I felt like on every turn, all Venerable Bhikkhunis have been so kind to come along and share me gently, Venerable. Okay. I hope this works well. Yes, okay. Yeah, so at every turn, I was sharing that all Venerables, all my dear lovely seniors and also juniors were very kind enough to give me the feedbacks and needful suggestions in those times. It somehow also felt overwhelming for me. And not just because of the things here, but also the baggage of the past that we carry, and something starts unfolding when you are growing, and it feels like, oh, this pattern has been coming up since how long, and I'm just repeating the same story, the same thing has been arising and same thing would pass away, and I don't want to get stuck in this, but just not knowing what am I doing. And it felt like I'm still continuing, but with more mindfulness. And what can I change? What can I make more skillful so that I can do something different, where I'm not repeating the past things again, but I'm also coming out of this habit pattern of my, which has been causing me so much of suffering, or keeping my mind so much occupied, or spurling me down into craving and clinging to ideas of self. And in those moments, like it continued quite a long time. So more than the work that body can do, I was more tired because of my mind, which didn't allow me sometimes to stay just plainly in this present moment and just let go of the burdens of the work that is around, and that association of it, connecting it with the old ways, or craving for, oh, may it be that way that it was in past, or may it not be that way that has been in the past, and then craving for, may it be this way, may it not be in this way, or may I be in this way and not be in this way. And those, anytime those conversation would start in, I would just like learn to just step back and see this, like, yo, this is the dukkha that I'm again going into. And it felt very genuine, knowing that, oh, I'm still a very new bhikkhuni, and I have to enter the domain of becoming, so that I am becoming a good bhikkhuni. So I was not able to fight that argument, and continue to learn and grow in those aspects of life. But then it was so difficult at a point for me to come out of it. And yes, as you mentioned, Venerable, there were then the times where I would go to the forest and see the tree standing in the group, sometimes where I feel loud with other bhikkhunis also. I see the dead tree with so big trunk, but yet fallen dry and decaying. And just remember that, oh, this is a very short life that I have been blessed with, and I might be soon, like, not be living like that 100 to 100,000 years of life, but this is very short time, and how much I want to just waste it in suffering or complaining or judging. And that would just simply calm my mind down. It would just help me stop and live, come back in the present experience and be grounded there. And then small advices from venerables, like keep continuing to take good and let go of the bad things that comes, and were like helpful. But then, like, one simple advice, but it was so difficult to follow, as I see myself like absorbing everything coming in my direction, like so dear and so important. And I realized that, oh, I am that emotional person who is very sensitive, and who is very, it's very difficult to cut things out from me, but it's very easy to just add things in. And like, this was the habits which I also see in different small works that I was assigned during the events or in my presentation, where I just want to share as much as I can, as much of uh, dhamma that I can pass on. But like, those things also made me realize that how much I am holding on to it. And those things were like, oh, yeah. And it's very recently I just realized how much uh, the suffering came because I was just creating a self which goes against the Dhamma. Dhamma teaches how non-self, the things are and how non-self should be seen, but then going in the ways of the samsara taught me the dukha of the samsara also, like the gain, loss, praise, criticism, loss of status, and all those kinds of things were like, oh yeah, I'm seeing it, and this I did something, and that's why it is following me. So like understanding those things, and then noting that why would I continue it again, and this question of about my actions in the future would lead me back. Oh, there is this wound of the past that when it's been triggered, then I'm 4 5 steps ahead, and then I'm reflecting. So it felt like, okay, can I stay close with that wound and not try to run away from it, or if any uncomfortable situation comes in, then can I be gently with it, can I be compassionately sit with it through and through, and see it as it is, as it arises, as it passes away, and just get its entire experience without trying to budge. And yes, it was difficult. I would not say it was easy, and even a part of it is like I feel I'm still going on through it, but I feel like its own journey. It takes its own time. But then again, appreciating the Dhammadharini Sangha, and also all the guest Bhikkhunis who have been coming here, and not to forget about how Arhantheri Sangamita and Arhantheri Anulatisa's relics were so valuable to come down and sit around and reflect upon and connect with the work they have done in the Dhamma, or their Dhamma energies, and also their student-teacher relationship. And that would always help me come back to uh, be a normal student, humble student, and not be very strongly judging or criticizing myself based on my actions and based on anything I'm doing, but be open and okay to make mistakes, and be okay to, if something gets wrong or if any misunderstanding arises, then go and have that conversation, which can be a little challenging or difficult in my head for me, but it's not that difficult at all. So in those terms, I kind of felt like, yes, I was kind of tuning myself in terms of Dhamma and Vinaya, and how can I be more stable and grounded in the present moment without taking on so much of burden, and without flowing along with the waves of the wind. So yes, that was a complete kind of an experience. And I would also like to thank you and Ayati and other venerables also again for like time to time giving up small statements, small guidance, small reminders, especially in our Dhamma reflection every morning. That helps to connect and reflect. Oh, yeah. Should I inspect? I should check inside. Is there anything that connects, that associates with that experience? And keep myself in the check and keep growing in the right way, in the middle way, towards the end of the suffering and not in the direction of growing in it. It's very helpful always.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for your sharing.
Not to mention that I really appreciate all the Vinaya classes that we received from Ayati despite her illness, and how compassionately she shared so much about Bhikkhunis' legacies. It was helpful.
Thank you so much, Venerable Vera, for sharing. Yeah, so now we invite Sambanere Dhammajeevi. You have 5 minutes.
Namo Buddhaya. Greeting, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
So, like Venerable Vera as her Vassa, first Vassa as Bhikkhuni, this is my first Vassa as a seminary. so my theme as a monastic is harmony in the Sangha. You know, I thought that it's just so crucial for Sangha to to be harmonious, work well together. And so I made it as my theme when I ordained. And I kept that and I work at it. And so coming to the Vassa, in my mind, what can I keep the Sangha in harmony? If I can give them some comfort, whatever that's going to relieve them a little bit, make them happy, that would help a little bit. So as we start the Vassa, we have international Bhikkhuni coming to the hermitage, thick forest at nighttime. So, and we have a couple who were not comfortable with, walking at night. And I volunteer, at nighttime when we have a class at night, I would walk along with them and go to their kuti. And then I would return back and I was walking happily behind them with my headlight on and just so happy, like I can serve, I can help, I can give comfort to monastic. And then the second one, the same thing. I walk, it's kind of far, coming back happily. I'm like, was I scared myself when I walk alone? Yes, I was. I was. But but the feeling of helping, giving someone else, another person comfort, that really kind of took out the fear. So I did that with 2 monastic long enough until they feel like they don't need me anymore. So that was like a good memory, just giving. I feel so much joy in my heart, just be able to do that. And with that, create good friendship, somebody that you can count on when you need most, when you're scared, somebody is there. That's what harmony and Sangha to me like. So that's good experience. I really enjoy that. Another one we have our aspirant who's actually kind of scared too. And I offer the same thing. I walk, but then the aspirant feel like, oh my God, I should be brave enough to walk. And then what I did was like, okay, but I realized, I sent the aspirants not quite comfortable. So I have my little Buddha statue and said, okay, I give this to walk with you. And then I told her that, when you're scared, just chant like recite, Buddhang, Dhammang, Sanghang. That's what I did when I was scared, and I got over that. And so that was the third thing that's really memorable for me. Another, we have a visiting monastic came. And I think during that time, we had Patimokkha, a visiting monastic. They were in a different tradition. So a decision was that she was going to go outside the Sima, and it's at nighttime. So, I volunteered to drive her out to a friend's house outside that's empty at the time. And then when I got there, I was just supposed to drop her off and just come back and observe the Patimokkha. Since I'm a summonary, I'm not required to join, but I could observe. So when I got there, I'm like, this is our visiting visitor. If she was me, and staying in an empty house in a forest, how would I feel? So then I was like, oh no, I'm not going. I'm gonna just enjoy this, have a conversation, make sure that she's comfortable. And with that, I was able to have a good conversation. We talk about different things. Again, we built amazing bond together for that. That same monastic, before she left, she wanted to experience staying in a tent next to a stupa. I said that she was not comfortable staying in a tent at night either. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come with you. I'm carrying like my my sleeping bag and my tent's kind of far, so I just pull it close to her, like side by side. And we talk a little bit, and we just meditate a little bit, and we went to sleep. In the morning, we just woke up and we're bright and shiny and happy. That's a good memory. I'm like, we built, she and I, we had like great bond, great, amazing time together. And she became one of my contact when I needed help, So that's amazing experience for me. Another experience that I encountered is that during the Vesak, we had to chant the Chakavadana Sutta at the stupa. One of our aspirants was not feeling well, and she had to stay in her tent. And while everybody was chanting, in my mind, while I was chanting, I was like, "What such an amazing night!" And she's not able to come and staying alone in the tent. So, so after we finished the chanting, I went to her tent, asking her, how are you doing? And can you come to my tent? I'm gonna chant this with. We're gonna chant together, at least one page of it. And she believed me enough to come with me, despite her not feeling good. So she did, and we chant along, just explain along, just one page. And then she started telling me what's going on in her mind. And not only that, I was able to convince her, talk her out from one of the things that she hasn't been doing and that make her feel not well. So she changed that, and the next day she was like all back to normal. So that's a good memory for me. Another memory I have is like, is my minute up? One more memory. One more memory. There's so many great memories, so it's gonna take a long time, but just one more. One more. Our steward, she's been helping us a lot. And then we had to drive back to the Hermitage's at nighttime, and she had to come alone, coming back to the monastery alone. And I think she was expecting me to come with her, but I was not expected to come back. I said, "Seminary, you're coming with me?" I'm like, "No," but I already said that she's not that comfortable, maybe. And then I have another little Buddha. And I said, "I'm not coming with you, but please take this little Buddha with you." And she was just all like so smiling, so happy. And she drove back safely. So we became good friends too. So I just want to share a few of these good memories. So that due to timing, I don't have a lot, but these are really sticking in my mind. So I just I enjoy just thinking about them for during this Vassa. So thank you so much.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for sharing those beautiful thoughts.
So each of us share our own reflection. Thank you, Samaneri Dhammachivi, to share your beautiful and wonderful experience, how we can help each other and how we can build loving kindness in our Sangha, not only the Sangha, everywhere. Of course, people need love, people need compassion, and there's not enough. People are not giving that to each other, and that's why we can see in the world there's a lot of hatred, lots of anger is there, but no one is there to give love, no one is there to give kindness. So I think each of us, even if we can give a small kind things to each other, I think the world will be a lot better than this. That's what I would say. And we see each of us, whatever we have shared, it's somewhere it's like attached, and somewhere it's how we accept and how we reflect on it. So I hope everyone have something to learn from this. Like even the monastic, we are also learning, we are all also practicing. So of course, because we are in the robe, it doesn't mean that we don't make mistakes. Of course we do make mistakes, and that's how we learn. And we are always learn by making mistake, and we are not attached to it. That's how we progress. So I wish all of you also, you're joining us every week. So I hope you're also learning so many things with us.
So I want to note we are at past our usual end time here, but we did also invite you earlier if you wanted to say anything. So I'd like to invite, if you do need to go, please don't feel any pressure to stay. But I do want to invite, if anyone had something that they would like to share at this time, either about anything that we've shared or about your own experience of the Vassa or your practice. Anyway, inviting anyone who'd like to share anything or ask anything at this time. Yes.
Thank you for sharing all that, Ayaz. I think one thing I just wanted to acknowledge and point out is I know that sometimes there can be self-criticism, for not doing things quite correctly or failing in different ways. But I just want to acknowledge, a lot of mudita I have for it's been a very, very long time since we've had regular Vassas for Bhikkhunis, and you're part of that, and you're doing that, and that's really historically significant. So I think it's just important to acknowledge that and to keep that in mind.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Yes, thank you so much. It's true. This has been our largest Vassa ever, with 9 bhikkhunis in residence for the Vassa, as well as 2 novices and 2, well, actually at 1.3 anagarikas. It was a lot of people, and it's actually an amazing thing. And I don't think there's, certainly nowhere else in North America where we've had this size of a Sangha of bhikkhunis. And so it's been wonderful, and it is actually historic in that regard. And thank you for mentioning that. It took so much to bring all this together, and it has been of value. It's really been a remarkable Vassa. So thank you. Anybody else like to say anything? Share or ask? Anyone? No? Did anyone else take an adhitthana for the Vassa? Okay. See a note from Janaki. Sadhu, sadhu. Surely it must have been a great experience engaged in bhavana and practicing Vinaya in such a calm, peaceful environment while being engulfed in nature. May the blessed Bhikkhunis carry the wisdom of our great teacher, the Samma Sambuddha, for many years to come. Sadhu, sadhu. Thank you for your kind words. And Michael says, thank you. It's your first time, but you look forward to attending more. So glad to have you, Michael. Thank you. All right. Well, if there's no further comments, then we actually want to close. We want to think of our friend Yen Maisie. She's sometimes has joined this group in the past. She's been a friend of our community for a long time, and has come and visited us as a monastic life aspirant. And just a couple hours ago, I think, well, I'm actually not quite sure when, but her father very recently passed away. And we'd like to share merits and dedicate merits for him this evening. Would you like to? Okay. So thinking of Maisie's father and wishing him well in this big transition, and our Vassa merits, our merits together today, we share with him, we share with all beings. And may everyone be well. May everyone grow and develop on this path all the way to awakening. Idang no punyang aswakayo hotu. Idang no punyang magapalanyanasa hotu. Idang no punyang Nibbanasapachayo hotu. All right. Well, blessings to all. And we can close by paying our respects together to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi. Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namasami. Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Sanghang Namami. All right. Night, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your patient listening, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you, Ayas.